My name is Shadow Templar 591, and I'm back. Actually, I'm back doing a What Is video. For those who don't know, my What Is videos are basically beginner's guides-esque impression-y videos that I do on video games. What I go over in my What Is videos, who is the game made by? What type of game is it? So, story, gameplay, aesthetics, you know, the normal stuff. I then go over, does the game accomplish its goals if it has one? And then finally, I give the price and my final thoughts. So right now, as you can see, I'm doing a What Is video on Hotline Miami. Hotline Miami is made by, it's published by Devolver Digital, so, and if you watch a couple of my more recent videos, you might have noticed that I've been playing a lot of published games by Devolver Digital, and I didn't realize I owned that many games in my Steam library by them until I started doing videos on them. So, I don't know, they just have a certain aesthetic that just kind of appeals to me. It's weird too, because they have almost a samey aesthetic, but yet at the same time, it's also kind of, for each of those games, it's also kind of different, which is really neat and cool. So, the story of this game is, you are a person who, oh, I didn't even realize, oh yeah, he's taking a piss. I don't know why I didn't see that. You are a person who keeps getting phone calls by masked men who wear masks, kind of like that I'm wearing right now. They wear animal masks, and they task you with going out to these different places and killing people. You don't ask why, they don't say why, you kind of just do it. And the game kind of hints, at least early on and often, that you might be on drugs, you might not be in the right mind. It really doesn't let you know what's kind of going on into the very, very end. Does it tip its hand? And what I mean by that is, in this game, there's actually 3 different endings. There's the main story ending, there's an epilogue ending, then there is the epilogue. There's a secret there's what's called the epilogue with the secret ending, and basically how you get that one, and that's the one that really tells you anything about the story that's going on, kind of ties all the pieces together, is you have to basically wear an owl mask. It'll show really hard to see purple squares around every level. There's one in every level. Then from there, what you do is each square represents a name, and then a letter. You put the letters in this kind of puzzle, and it spells out a message, basically. And then on the final level with the character in the epilogue, you put the message, because it's actually a password, into a computer, and it kind of gives you, and that's what triggers the secret ending. So that's really, it's not actually a cutscene, it's an in-game thing. I don't know if there's any technical cutscenes in this game. I don't think there are. But as you can see, and that's really all I'm going to say about the story, because since it's a mystery, I don't want to spoil too much. But as for the gameplay is what I assume you would call top-down 2D, I guess, adventure game. I don't know if adventure, because I don't know. When I think of adventure, I think of elves and knights and happy stuff, not you going around murdering people. But I guess you do murder goblins and those, so I don't know. Anyway, I guess that's not the point. So basically, what you're trying to do is you might have noticed, is you're pretty much trying to go through every floor, killing everyone on the floor. And the faster the more people you kill in a row, you kind of get streak for that, and you get more points for that. So it really, and that brings up an interesting point about kind of what you're doing as a person. It really makes you not only as a person in the game, but as like the player character. Because usually you can contextualize, it's good versus evil, I'm the good guy, so of course I'm going to, I'm gonna kill these guys, they're the evil guys, I'm the good guys. But in this, for the most part, I mean, you're just going murdering these people for, as far as you know, no really good reason. There's really no good reason for you to be doing this. You're just kind of told to do it, and you do it. So that's kind of an interesting dilemma, and it reminds me of back in the 90s when they were having the whole, violence, video game violence, I guess, debate, if you want to call it that, and kind of video games as murder simulators, because this is kind of, if there's a game that's a murder simulator, I guess this would be it. I mean, you literally go around, you go around murdering people, and they murder you too, but I mean, you kind of just walk into wherever they are and start bashing their heads in, so I can't blame them for doing that. But not only that, but you get not only points for killing multiple in a row, but also how you kill them. You'll get more points. So if a guy's by a door and I have the door slam on his face, I'll get points for that. And then curb stomping him, I'll get some more points. So it really kind of hits at home about that. And it's interesting because it does it in a subtle way. Most games that tackle this kind of material kind of do it in a very overt fashion. And maybe I'm looking really too much into this. Maybe this is just a game meant to have fun about killing people. I don't know. But I think either way, it's an interesting thing to think about, a subject matter. Every time I play a game kind of like this, or see a game like this, I'm always reminded of Liquid Snake's kind of monologue that he has when you fight him at the end of Metal Gear Solid, the first one, about how you've basically gone through the whole place killing his men and really no remorse for it. You say you're a changed man, but you kind of do it for no reason. So I thought that's kind of, I'm always reminded of that and always think about that, because it's a good point. And especially in a game like this, I think it really rings true. But I digress. I mean, like I said, I might be just looking into this a little more than I have been. So I'll go over the more basic gameplay controls. WASD to move, left click to attack, right click to throw a weapon. If you throw it, it'll basically knock the guy out and you can hit him. You can also knock a guy out with a door, and I'll show you that. So this interesting thing about the doors is, if you're behind a door, your enemies can't see you. It blocks their line of sight, but it's almost like a visible barrier. I guess it literally is a visible barrier, because you can't, if you shoot at the door, it doesn't explode, which I guess it's kind of crazy, especially if you shoot a door with a shotgun. I mean, the thing should splinter pretty easy, but it doesn't. The only thing that kind of frustrates with me, and I've played a couple of games that do this, is you can't change the controls without you have to exit the game. Like, if I pause, there's no option to change the controls, and I don't know why. The aesthetics of this game, and I should have mentioned this for the story, it's set in 1989, so it's got a very 80s vibe feel to it. Just checking out my just carnage. I'm actually not, after this, basically what happens is you take your DeLorean, which every time I think of that, I think of a professor from Back to the Future and the flux capacitor. So as you can see, you get a score and then you'll get rated. So it's literally a murder simulator. And I guess my playstyle was combo training. I don't know what that actually means. So I don't know why the game does that. I don't know why why I can't just change the controls here. You'll see this guy, he'll pop up at just about the end of every mission. You can take this pizza or you can leave it. I'm actually not gonna go back, because then you go to your apartment and you get your message for the next mission. I'm not gonna do that because I uploaded a video of this, and I guess the music's copyright, so I got a strike for that. Not a strike, but a claim. So I'm not gonna go back there. But it's nothing too special. Controls, music is kind of, to be honest, it's nice, but it's not. It's nothing I would write home about. And the progression is basically you go to a level, you kill a bunch of guys, you go back to your apartment, you get the next mission. Once in a while you get a kind of cutscene where guys talk to you. The three guys I'll talk to, they're all masked and kind of try to key you in on what's going on, but that's about it. There are a couple boss-esque. There's a couple, I think there's like 2 technical kind of bosses, but not really. As you see, it's instant death. The art direction is very 80s, very neon color. 80s, excuse me, I pooped. And I guess, the final thing I really can go over is, does this game accomplish its goal? I guess if its goal is kind of to sink it, if it is a goal, and me not looking too much into it, of thinking about what you're actually doing while you're killing these people and why you should be getting points for it and why games do that, I think it does accomplish that goal. If it's me just looking into it, well played, game, because you got me thinking about a subject matter I might not have. Price, I mean, if you can get it cheap, there's technically an updated and original version. The updated, when you launch the game, the updated version is basically just more stable, allows you to change the screen resolution, and just gives you more options overall. Doesn't change the mask system or anything like that. And then, I would say price, I would say $10 max. I wouldn't pay any more for this. It's a good game, don't get me wrong, but it's a digital game, and with that comes all the hurdles of you don't own it, so if it disappears from your Steam library and you're kind of SOL. So my rule of thumb is, for a game, $10, fine. Some tips and tricks, like I said, you can use the door to not only block view but block shots. It'll also block your shots. If you use shift, you can actually see farther, so that'll help you. And I should have showed you this, but if you hit the middle mouse button, you'll actually be able to lock on guys. I didn't use it because I didn't know that until I went into the controls, which you actually, for some of the only things you can actually change in the controls, or I was able to change, was your movement. Everything else is kind of fixed, so if you don't have a middle mouse button, I don't know how you lock onto guys. Also, you can also hold guys up, but it's the same. It's the same button which is a spacebar to curb stop someone or beat them over with your weapon, which is weird. So I've only done it once, and I got the trophy. There's a achievement for it, not trophy. So that's kind of weird. And then just one thing. Another weird thing is, when you have a guy knocked down, you can't kill him like you could with a melee weapon. You can't go up, hit the space button and smash his face in with a gun. You can only do that either when you're unarmed or with a melee weapon, which I think is really odd. I don't get that. And then the final thing is, the guys have general areas that they will patrol, but at the same time, sometimes they go out of the patrol, so that if they're in a room, they might actually go out that door and shoot you. So you gotta watch out for that. You gotta kind of plan really ahead if you're trying to, especially if you're trying to get A's and get all the achievements from this, because there is an achievement for all A pluses on all missions, and I think there's over 17 of them, so have fun with that. But I think that's... Oh, also, when you knock a guy down, you can't just shoot him with your weapon. You have to actually either have to throw your weapon away and just curb stomp him, or like if he's against a wall, or you have to grab a melee weapon and do that, which is once again really weird. I don't know why you can't just shoot him with your weapon. But my final thoughts on this, guys, and I know you're probably getting sick of seeing this pizzeria, but for $10, this is a great game. I had a lot of fun with it. The epilogue was kind of going back was kind of daunting, especially on some of the later levels. But I think for the closure, it is kind of worth it. I could see some people saying, I'll just watch it on YouTube. Completely understand that. There's videos of it on YouTube. I personally went on YouTube to find out how to actually do it, because I didn't realize it. Another thing with the owl mask is you'll see throughout different levels, you'll see bodies, just dead bodies, and normally if you don't have the owl mask on, they won't have masks on, but if you do, they will. So I think that's the game's trying to subtly suggest that there's other people who are in this doing this as well. So it's not just you. These people seem to have other people doing this, and the game doesn't tell you, at least right away, why. So it was an interesting mystery. I think it was... I liked the ending. I liked especially with the epilogue. I think that was a nice twist that really tied things together, and I really had fun. I look to eventually doing the second one, the sequel, in a What Is video. But on that note, guys, my name has been Shadow Templar 591, and as always, have a great day.